Playing in the trenches, you're used to working hard and not being recognized. I never understood why, but I think it's time for a change. It's time for everyone to know just how important linemen are. We sign big contracts, we're inspirational, we like to have fun. Here are the stories of the position you never hear about. Welcome to the trenches. Welcome to season 2 of Only in the Trenches. Today I'm at Sports Academy with Duke Manyweather. Thanks, Duke. Thanks for some time out.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you been doing this pre-draft training?
This is my 5th official year being on my own of doing pre-draft training. And this is my first year fully integrated with Sports Academy. And it is just a top-notch program that we've built out. And I'm very excited about what we're going to be able to produce from this program.
What would you say is like your best experience through these few months that you have with the guys?
My best experience is really getting to know these guys, getting to understand their intrinsic motivation, their why, getting to understand the stories, bringing 15 guys from a lot of times 15 different backgrounds from various states, various hardships, various victories, and trying to really mold them and get them to understand that they're unique individuals. And we don't so much focus on their weaknesses, we focus on their strengths. And what we try to do is take their strengths and help them develop as men first, and then offensive linemen second. And that is really become my passion and my why. And it's something that I truly enjoy through this 8 to 10 week process.
And now that's different. A lot of people say that you do continue to focus on your strengths, but attack your weaknesses. Why do you take your approach?
Well, here's the thing is, like, when you have this period of time, is you can spend a lot of time dwelling on weaknesses, or you can choose to understand what makes each guy uniquely like a unique individual. If somebody has a skill set or a trait that is dominant, let's find a way to use that skill set and find a way to use that trait that's dominant to really plug into an area for improvement. The reason you want to do that is because if you focus so much on trying to fix something and you're giving them something that they probably can't execute all the time, then they're going to get frustrated and then they're going to revert back to their lowest level of training. But if we give them something that they can continually win at, that they're familiar with, that they know how to get back to and tap back into, when they self-organize, that's going to put them in a better situation to be able to replicate success.
I like that. Now, how long have you been coaching, like on your own, coaching/training on your own?
I left the college game after the 2012 season. So essentially it's been close to 10 years that I've been in the private sector and doing specifically O-line development and consulting in the private sector. And, I've gotten job offers from colleges and NFL teams. And I made a vow to myself after really 2014, after being 2-3 years removed from the college game, that I would never work for anybody else again. That I would work with a lot of people, but I would never work with anybody else again, or work for anybody else again.
And why is that? Do you feel like the impact can be bigger?
The impact can be bigger, but then when you're also very clear, we talk a lot about being clear. Where am I at? Where do I want to go? What's preventing me from being there? What are my controllables? When you get clear on who you are and where you want to go, a lot of times what ends up happening is people's hidden agendas can start to jade and sway that. And then you wake up one day and you're like, I'm not fulfilled doing what I'm doing. And what I once felt joy doing didn't bring me joy. It was almost like, a level of anxiety. So I found a way to mitigate that, and it was not to depend on trying to figure out what somebody else is thinking for my path. I felt like that if I can take control of my own path and my own career and have a plan and a template that I wanted to implement to help these guys develop, that if it failed, it was all on me. But if it took off, it would be
somebody else.
no, it would be a group effort, really. I mean, like, if it failed, it's on me. But like, these guys having success is not just because of me, it's because of the full group effort. It's because of the full buy-in. And they say it takes a village, and that's why, my team here at Sports Academy and my business partner Patrick and all the physicians and all the therapists that we have, it's a team and the infrastructure, and the mindset is the culture. We're trying to make sure that the culture is right within what we want to do with O-line masterminds, and that really fits what we're trying to do here to help guys develop.
And tell me a little bit more about O-line masterminds. I've never been. Hopefully next year I can make my way out here and come. I just hear it's such a great experience. Like, how did that come about? How did it start? And I've seen that it's grown bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, we started our first O-line mastermind summit right here at what is now Sports Academy. Before this building even really had a name, or was even really a business. It was a big, great space that lended itself to high technology, but there really wasn't a purpose for it. And so we were actually one of the first functions and events that came into this space. We started off with 27 guys in the classroom, I think back in 2017. That grew to 40. The next year it grew to 80. And then year 4 we had over 200. And we're looking for a big year 5. But really, the premise of O-line Mastermind is in the true essence of the mastermind principle by Napoleon Hill back in the 1930s about collaboration and streamlining success. And so I'm a big reader. I like to read and learn about people who did things in a successful manner, but in a sustained successful manner, because success does leave clues in that regard. So read a lot about Napoleon Hill and his mastermind principle, and kind of took that and realized that offensive line isn't a position where you need to be exclusive and kind of hidden. It's a very collaborative type position. I mean, there's 5 guys up front that play that are all seeing, kind of, they need to be able to see the same thing, step the same way, and so our development should be that way. Okay. So what I did was I figured, I watched the NFL Top 100 one day, and I had trained Lane Johnson in the past, and he said, he goes, these D linemen have gotten so good, I figured like we need to all get in a room and figure out how to stop these guys. I immediately called Lane. I said, hey man, I'm watching the Top 100. He goes, what are you thinking? I said, let's do an O-line summit. And Von Miller was doing his D-line summit at the same time. And so Lane goes, when do you want to do it, next year? I said, hell no, man. It was like April at that point. And I said, let's do it right before camp this year. And so we did a mass scramble. He said, if you put it together, he goes, I'll help to put some infrastructure into it, and I'll be there. And sure enough, 6 to 8 weeks later, we had our first O-line Mastermind Summit. Started up in the classroom, actually on the second floor, and then had our breakout sessions down here onto the turf, walk and talk through technique. Like I said, 27 guys. It was a fun time, but then it just has continued to grow. And now it's kind of the standard for the ultimate offensive line development. And I couldn't be more proud, but it's not just all me. None of this would be noticed. None of this would have the aura, I guess you could say, if it wasn't about the people involved with it. Man. So it's always about the people and not the individual, people plural and not singular. So it's never about me. It's about the guys in the arena. It's not the critic that counts. But for me, it's just kind of, again, I bring it up again, it's the mindset and being clear what direction we want to go, And being clear, I heard you say that a few times. Is that something that you always are preaching to the guys, just about being clear? Absolutely. In every aspect of their life, as human development, man development, husband, boyfriend, son, let's be clear. Let's be clear on what we want. Let's be clear on where we are, where we want to go, what's keeping us from being there, what are my controllables. Who am I going to leave behind? Who am I bringing with me? What are the things that I'm going to have to leave behind? It's a whole checklist of what being clear means. But something sounds so simple in a conversation like this. Once you get that down pat, it literally makes your life and your path clear. Easier. Not easier, just clear. Clearer. Yeah. So you can be able to navigate through there real easy. Absolutely. Now, I have a question because, now I'm in the private sector, and just how was your transition from being at a college program and then having to figure out your day-to-day and, the business side of things and the development side of things? Like, what would you say was your hardest transition for you when when now started moving on your own? I saw people who were very bad at people management. I saw people that were very bad at really business and they thought they were good. I saw people that majored in a minor in terms of trying to control certain aspects that really needed to self-organize. And so what I start to do is say, okay, I saw this aspect in the team setting.
Okay.
This is what I liked about it. This is what I think could be better. And then when I got to the private sector, I saw those things that I just highlighted, the good and the bad. And so what I did is I didn't rush anything. I let everything organically happen. And the biggest thing that I made sure that I do was do right by the player. Okay. And once you do right by the player, and once you're 100% transparent and honest with players, there's some answers I didn't have early on. And I made that be clear. I didn't have every answer. Okay. There were some answers I still don't have. And I make that clear. If I don't know something, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to tell you I don't know, but I will find the answer for you. You know, I think that the players appreciate the 100% authenticity because I'm always myself. All I can be is who the fuck I am.
Yes, sir.
And that's anybody else. And so you're either going to be enough for some people, you're not going to be enough for other people, and then you're going to be too much for many. So just keeping that philosophy of, again, being clear, the business in the business aspect, but then also in the personal philosophy, really allows you to be able to take the trajectory and make that transition. Again, I think that a lot of people don't spend the time doing the work to say, all right, what did I like, what did I didn't like? All right, let's look in the mirror. What do I need to improve on that I can be better at? And I think once you do that, once you have that type of level of self-awareness, no matter we're talking about business or, you know, skill development or, you know, the strength and conditioning aspect, it makes you a better person, which makes you a better coach, what makes you a better entrepreneur, you know? And then again, it's just that transparency and 100% authenticity. I think a lot of people, especially young men and women, young entrepreneurs, I should say, sometimes feel the societal pressures to give in and do what everybody else is doing. And I think what I've tried to do is make myself clear what I'm about, morals and integrity. And if that means losing out on customers, losing out on money, losing out on opportunity, I'm willing to do that. Because at the end of the day, I can lay my head down at night and understand that who I am as a person and what I want to be about is going to be respected. And I'm always going to do the right thing. It may not be popular, but I'm going to do the right thing. And I think what ends up happening is you'll see, man, sometimes the right thing is very unpopular with some people.
For sure. And there's a lot of temptation that I'm starting to figure out as I'm going in here. And I'm like, well, everybody's doing that. But I'm like, man, I never felt right to me.
Correct.
It's like everybody's doing it. And it was just, and I'm like, man, you know, I just got to stick to myself. So it's dope that you and bring that up because they'd be like, should I? They'd be like, nah, like, I used to think that was like whack. I ain't gonna hop into that. Like,
all you can be is you.
Yeah.
That's why I've never changed. You know, I bring this up all the time. I talked about this on last year on season 1 of the Big Boys Club. Nipsey Hussle said, if you want to change the game, never change the message. And that stuck with me because I've seen so much ebb and flow, highs and lows. I've seen so many people try to switch up and try to reinvent themselves to fit the norm. And again, all I can be is who the fuck I am. And that's all you can be too. So once you find your own way, once I continue to find my own way, that's who you are. You roll with it. Now within that comes growth and development in that lane. But in terms of flipping complete philosophy, and here's the thing though, I say that, but we should always be changing and evolving, you know, this way.
It's a difference of trying to hop on because somebody else is doing it and you adjusting and, you know, I want to be able to try something new.
Adapt, improvise, and always face forward. That's what I always say. The minute we adapt, improvise, and do a 180, now we got problems.
Yeah, no more growth. I always wanted to be able to talk to, you know, different people in this O-line and D-line world. And at the same time, I also wanted to kind of be naive so I wouldn't have to be able to hop on the trends and different things like that. So I'm just being able to trying to find a balance. So I appreciate you spending some game with me, sitting down with me for a few minutes. So thanks, man.
No problem. I think the biggest thing is to take in everything, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. Take in everything. Get to know everything, and then make your own decision on how that fits in with your personal philosophy as a person and then also as a developer. I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't. They automatically operate in a vacuum or in a funnel, and they're looking for confirmation bias. They won't read things that they don't agree with. There's a lot of stuff that I take in, that I read and get to know and consume that I don't necessarily agree with, but I want to know why, you know? I want to know the how. Once I understand that, at that point you can make a decision on it. Because if you're not obsessive about your development, if you're not obsessive about knowing the why and how, then there's no reason to do it. You got to be obsessive about it.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
No problem.